My first question would be, why did you guys end up deciding to go with YouConnect?
It's customer service. We found your customer service and the way Brenda, Barbara, and Sunda operate and interact not only with themselves, but with you, to be what made this company such a winner and why we wanted to develop our software through you.
I love it. So you guys were currently on the RIMS platform. Why did you guys decide not to do the migration to Collateral 360 and go the YouConnect direction instead?
There was a couple of reasons. We weren't completely satisfied with RIMS, and one of our competitor banks had already went with 360, and I actually received a phone call shortly after they went live, saying that if you had any thought of going with 360, you need to reconsider it. And at that point, we just put everything on hold and went with YouConnect. We were already leaning towards you to begin with, but you know, getting a call from a competitor warning you to us spoke volumes.
Initially, we thought we would take the path of least resistance, which would do the migration. And like Jim said, when we got that feedback from someone who jumped quicker than us, and that said, you guys may want to go back and rethink what your options are, that sounded volumes in our ears.
Thank you, guys. What are some of the biggest differences that you guys noticed between the RIMS platform and the YouConnect platform?
I think it's a good deal easier to get around in YouConnect than it is in the previous platform. I think there's more information that's readily visible and easy to get to in YouConnect than having to go through menu after menu, not being able to page back, page forward, scroll up, scroll down. So I do think that even though it's an enormous amount of information that you still need to access, it's a lot easier to get to at your fingertips than the other one was, which makes it easier when you're in and out of the system constantly.
Yeah.
To put that in a nutshell, less clicking.
Absolutely.
There's a tremendous amount of clicking in RIMS. And if you're not a clicker, it just doesn't work.
That's right.
Did you guys notice much between the reporting and communication parts? Because I run into that a lot whenever I'm working with someone who's on RIMS.
Absolutely. Reporting is night and day. We only use reports on a very limited basis in RIMS because you literally had to be a rocket scientist in order to figure theirs out. And don't even think about contacting them to create one, because you go through such a maze of people that it's just wasn't worth it. We're in there, we're in reports constantly trying to, develop different reports we can give to our superiors, just so they can, keep track of the volume. And, we have had to contact Sunda a few times, but primarily we're developing these reports on our own. So the ease is a big issue.
Communications features was also something that weighed heavily on our decision to go with YouConnect. One of the problems that we had with the prior platform was the fact that all their communication was done via email outside of the system. So every time we had to try to update a file, we had to copy and paste an email from an outside source like Outlook back into the file. And the fact that it's automatically integrated and that you can have those chats and those confirmations, and everything that goes in and out of YouConnect is automatically tracked in the history section of a request is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And it's going to make our auditors a lot happier.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. What advice would you guys give to, a fellow chief appraiser, another appraisal manager at a different bank who's considering making the move to YouConnect?
I think I would say absolutely give them a look and give you a call and talk to somebody. Like Jim said at the very beginning, one of the best parts that we had in our onboarding experience was working with the people on your end and the customer service that went along with that. Ask your questions, voice your concerns, because the people that we worked with were able to answer everything, get back to us, to really put us at ease and really bring home the fact that we were going to be comfortable with this particular change.
Mm-hmm. You may have just answered my last question. I wanted to ask you both, what's the best part about working with the UK? And Todd, you probably just answered it from your standpoint, I think.
No, we had a very good experience with RealWired from the very beginning. Brenda came to Pittsburgh and had lunch with us, and I think we had originally scheduled an hour for lunch. I think we ended up spending 3 hours, and the talk wasn't all on the system.
Right.
She's also an appraiser, and when you have a system that is developed by appraisers for appraisers, the product almost sells itself.
Mm-hmm.
But having her personality, she's just a tremendous person. And I mean, then you could just go down the line. We were introduced to Sunda, and we were introduced to Barb, and even you. I mean, you called me one day and started talking about Steeler stuff.
It's okay by me.
You guys have just an absolutely fantastic organization. And you know what? I can't leave Jeff out too. I've spoken to Jeff several times, and the foundation of your company and the people that you have there are what make it a company, and what make it and what bring you in and make you friends. And there's no better situation than working with friends.
Mm-hmm.